Hey guys, Ellis here and welcome to another episode of Tree Frog Talks, and today we're going to be talking about how to write a decent blog for your website. Now there are several things to consider when writing a blog for your website, and the first one is the demographic that you're hitting. Depending on what it is your website does, whether you're an appliance sales website or maybe you're a kitchen design website, you need to know who is going to be reading your blog. That way you'll be able to tailor what you're saying towards the people who are reading your blog. Now, again, that all depends on what it is your site does. If you're an appliance sales website, then you've got a much broader range, I would imagine, than if you're, say, a specialist website. If you specialize in designer kitchens maybe, then you'll have a higher class demographic. So it just all depends on who it is you're targeting. So that's something you need to consider, and I would say that's probably the first step in deciding what it is you want to talk about for the posts on your blog. So what do you write in your blog? Well, obviously you want to put your news and updates of your website, but you also want to put some extra stuff in there, some fun little things that will keep people interested while they're on your blog. So if, for example, you're a kitchen design website, you might want to put little tips about cookery tips or tips about decorating, or you might want to put some recipe ideas. And if you're a hotel, for example, let's say in the Landudno area, you might want to see what you can find to put out as articles about the history of the area or tourist attractions and that kind of thing. And that way the people who will come to your blog for whatever reason will find the information they need and some extra stuff that will keep them coming back. In terms of actually writing your blog, I would say try to make it no more than 500 words but no less than 300 words, and that way it's not too much of an essay but it's not too brief. And you're kind of hitting the right balance there, really, with sort of a throwaway kind of readable thing and getting the information out. So I would say between 300 and 500 words. In terms of going about actually writing the article itself, I would say don't jump into it straight away. Take some time, take a good hour or so finding information and reading up and researching about what it is you want to talk about before you actually write it down. Because if you just go straight into it and start trying to write, you're going to fumble over yourself, you're going to get to a point where you think you've done a lot and then you realize you haven't, and you're going to struggle to come up with something else to write. So yeah, do your research first, do a good hour or so worth of research, take some notes, take some links, and gather some images and that kind of thing that you want to include in the blog, and then you can settle down and get everything written in one go, basically. Another thing to consider, of course, is that you're trying to fit in with the style of your website. So say, for example, you're quite a formal website and you're quite formally written, then your blog needs to fit in with that. It needs to be formally written as well, because the people who like your website and are coming to your website for the formalities are going to be a little bit put off by an informal blog, and vice versa. If you're quite an informal website and you're quite down to earth and quite relaxed, then a very formal and uptight blog is going to turn people away. So it's all about finding the right mood and tone, really, of what it is you're writing. So if it's informal, throw a few jokes in there, tell a few anecdotes in your posts, and just make it a little bit more informal. And if it's a formal website, then make your blog formal, get the information out there, but do it in a well-written and well-spoken manner, and just that kind of thing. And it's really about making sure you know your audience. So my main tips, in conclusion, really, for putting together a blog post for your website is, firstly, know your demographic, know your audience. Secondly, know what it is you want to talk about. Do your research and make sure you've got all your information together before you start writing. Try and write it all in one go, try and get it all done in one sitting. And know the tone of your audience and the tone of your website. So that's all from me, really. It's just a quick one this week to let you guys know about some of the things that I do here. Hopefully next week it'll be Chris again, and yeah, we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.